So for the last 3 weeks I've been in Portugal at a gym camp in Loulé, and what I thought I'd do is talk about my experiences while I was out there. I'm Danny Hatcher, expressing my journey, contributing to the coaching conversation. I went out to Portugal as an athlete, but as sort of a coach as well. So those of you that don't know, there is a gym camp in Algarve-Loulé in Portugal with trampoline, diving, DMT and tumbling. DMT is double mini trampoline if you don't know what it is. And what I was out there doing was I was out there training for a couple of weeks. I was out there for almost 3 weeks. So a couple of weeks was training, so learning different skills, practicing routines, and the other time was spent at school, down the beach, having a bit of fun, as you can imagine. While you're out there, you can talk to all the different coaches that are out there, the experts from all the different countries. You can talk to all the coaches out there from other clubs, talk to other athletes, albeit a lot of them are a lot younger than me, but you can talk to all the different people that are out there about their different experiences, the ways that they coach, the way that they choose to coach. You can look at how they communicate with their athletes, different ages, different abilities, and obviously with it being an international camp, language barrier. There's an interesting one, watching how some of the guys from Portugal, from Spain, how they were communicating with the English and how they were using their body language as a massive influencer in how they were communicating the different skills and what they wanted the athletes to do. As a quick overview of the camp, basically you have a week to do a training session. You've got the whole week. You have 2 sessions a day, one in the morning-ish, one in the afternoon-ish. The first week there's 3 groups of training, so you'll be in group 1, 2 or 3. First, second or third group, and then second training session again, you'll just train again. Then you go through the week, do all your training, and there's a fun little activity at the end of the week. But during that week you are with your club, with your coaches, doing and learning whatever you want to do, with the input of experts that are there on the camp. The experts, I don't like experts as a word, so the more professional coaches that are out there with experience coaching, higher skills and bigger skills, they are there to give you input and help you with any skill that you want to learn. When you're learning all these skills, you're in a big group of loads of other clubs. So you might be in a group with a load of other British clubs, you might be in a group with a load of foreign clubs, you might have a mix of both. This was actually my 4th year out there, however this was the first time I'd been for longer than a week. It was interesting seeing the transition between the 2 weeks. The first week was definitely the busier out of the 2. And I personally learned a lot more in the first week than I did the second week, but I definitely don't regret staying for the second week because it allowed me just to finalise those skills that I didn't quite get in the first week. So pros and cons of both. Outside of the training, we were in a school. If you like having the hotel suites and everything else, it's not quite like that. You are staying in a school with limited air conditioning, and it was very hot out in Portugal, like 30 degrees most days. But pro, con, whether you like the heat, whether you don't, is up to you. For me, I found it quite nice. Being in England, it's wet and rainy and cold most of the time, so it was a nice change. Training in that heat, however, was a bit of a challenge. And one of the things that I did pick up from talking to some of the other coaches was the different loads that you're put under when you're out in Portugal. Moving from a holiday training aspect into a more coaching, learning aspect, there were loads of different topics that I spoke about to loads of different coaches, so I'm not going to cover all of them. They'll probably be coming up in other videos here and there, and I'll sort of reference back to this one. But something that I wanted to mention in this video was about training load, because it was a big topic throughout both weeks. I was talking to a couple of the other experts out there, and some of the other coaches from some UK clubs. It's currently a work in progress as well for me, monitoring my training and a couple of the other guys at the club that I'm at. But training load just in general, as a general topic to look at, you've got it in powerlifting and weightlifting and all the other strength sports. Then it's also in your normal sports. So football, they use a GPS tracking system to monitor how much you're running. Rugby, the same thing, using GPS. But in trampoline and gymnastics, monitoring training load isn't something that's easily done. In gymnastics, I believe Dave Tilley from Shift Movement and Nick Ruddock as well. I believe they've done some work in monitoring gymnastics, artistic gymnastics, and monitoring their training load. I'll put links to them up above if you want to have a look at the stuff that they've written about.
What's going on? This is Dave Tilley. I'm here at Champion PT in Boston, and today I want to shoot a really important video for probably the most important project that I'm working on with research in gymnastics and kind of different fields, but something that I think is going to be really gold standard in gymnastics moving forward, the concept of a workload ratio and tracking volume more objectively, so we know how much are we doing, is it too much, too little, where's the performance peak going to come with periodization. So I've been working a lot with Tim Gabbitt's research and some other great researchers to try to come up with a system for gymnastics. And what I want to do is walk you through some of the challenges that gymnastics faces in applying this research, and then walk you through an example of what I'm using to kind of create these systems for our gym and for clients that I work with. Just because the problem with research is by the time we get it formulated, put together in a good package, it takes 2 years to kind of get out through the validation process. So I'd rather just kind of give you guys a heads up of what I'm working on now, so that we're going to create a tool for people to use, and that when I give it to people, they understand what we're going for. So
from a trampolines perspective, there isn't much that I could find within training load. From the discussions we had over the week, there are some people do it on contact time, so the amount of contacts you have on the trampoline, counting those, that can be quite tedious. Some people only monitor somersaults, some people monitor difficulty. Then you've got the psychological monitoring load, and how you monitor all those different things together to create. One of the coaches uses an arbitrary load created from straight jump loads, somersaulting loads, difficulty and RPE, rate of perceived exertion. Whether that's the most accurate, reliable way, no one knows, but it's a work in progress, and that was an interesting topic that was going throughout the week. So just as like an overview of the week, the training definitely benefited me. The learning definitely helped me in understanding trampoline just in general, and that's where I want to put the next couple of videos on. I want to put it around trampoline and around the coaching in trampoline that I've understood, what I can take from my university degree and put into trampoline, as that is where my research is going for my master's research. So for the next couple of videos, I'm going to be trying to apply what I've learned in my degree and apply it to the trampoline context through the conversations that I had over in Portugal. If you have any questions about what Portugal is like, if you are planning on going, if you're a club going, if you're an athlete going, or if you have your own views from coming, whether you're anyone from the club or anyone I met out there, please leave your comments down below as to whether you agree or disagree with the comments that I've made. So for those of you that are out there, you may agree, you may disagree, but I found the training really useful, talking to loads of you, meeting loads of you, getting your opinions on training. The heat was definitely a big one. Doing the warm-ups and all of the Doing the intense warm-ups before was fun, but obviously towards the end of the week you do start getting tired. So it was an interesting conversation I had with a couple of the coaches about the application of the warm-ups and all the different types of warm-ups that were being done. I don't know whether other athletes are out there that can comment, but towards the end of the week, doing the abs and the backs from my club or one of the other clubs, doing the abs and backs or the conditioning work before you got on the trampoline was very hot, very tiring, and it definitely induced more fatigue than preparation for activity. But hey, I'll leave that down to you guys to comment down below.